Hello, good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio.
Hello and good evening, and a very warm welcome to Rangers Radio. Tonight you've been joined by myself, GB, and the two custodians of Rangers Radio, which is Bridgeman and Albert. How are we doing, boys?
You don't want me, my custodian, I'll tell you that. Yeah, I'm fine, mate. How are you?
Very well. Glad to have the show back, mate. I got to admit, it's a hard slog when that international breaks on.
Oh, dreadful, aye. Bridge, how are you?
A good evening to yourself, and of course, GB, good evening to you. I'm not spoken to you. Just say to all the Rangers fans listening and all over the world, and the techie boys in the background, good evening and welcome to Rangers Radio.
Albert, I was hearing you were enjoying some afternoon tea a couple of weeks back. Was that right?
Oh dear.
We were.
Oh dear.
We were indeed. Lovely bit of grub. A couple of pints. It was lovely, mate. I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I thoroughly enjoyed the annoying big Stevie with it as well.
Yeah, a certain picture I heard was getting passed about, so good teasing, I'll say.
It was the
Are
two
you
police.
going to show us that picture? Are we going to see that picture?
I've not got it. Ox's got it. I'll tell him to pass it on to you, mate.
Bridge, I heard it was censored, mate.
It's a nice wee day. It was a nice wee day.
What have you been up to, Albert, if it was censored?
Mate. I might be up to something in my mind, mate, but physically, no, that days are gone, mate. 10 days are well gone.
Well, by the way, Albert, you never know with all these statements that are getting released by the club and UEFA and all the rest of it. You can't put up a handkerchief anymore without getting accused of something.
No.
So, but anyway, we'll come to that, I think, in a wee bit. We'll see how the show goes. Bridgeman, how was the Bahamas, mate?
Bahamas. Yeah, I couldn't even spell Bahamas at the moment, let me tell you. I wasn't away anyway, pal, but I'm fine now. I'm fine.
Good. Well, I think it's only due that we have a wee recap. Albert, I know you were on the show with me after the Old Firm game, but from then, do you think the team have, from that result, do you think the team have actually got a bit of belief about them now? I think for some of the players, as much as I didn't watch international football, I think for some of the players, they carried their form into their international performances. So hopefully it's allowed them to kick on a bit, Albert.
Oh, you'd hope so, no? I mean, you kind of get a wee bit more belief in yourself and want to play for the club and run that wee bit harder and faster. You never will, mate, because they've done well. The Fenerbahce game and the Celtic game, and they've done well, mate. They really well. So, it's for all accounts, I don't think anybody really had bad games in the international. I don't watch international football personally. I might catch 10 minutes here and there, but I don't actually watch the full games. But for all accounts, everybody done well.
Yep, mate. Bridgeman, I mean, we keep going on about the players need confidence and stuff like that, but our interim manager, I think, as the weeks go by, that he's gaining in confidence in his ability to manage a squad now.
Yeah, you can't say anything about that, can we? Really, hats off to him. Hats off to him. I can hold my hand up now. I was not wanting Barry Ferguson anywhere near a club again, but of course, when they're here, they'll get supported by me. But he's done a remarkable job, and I'm so happy. My goodness, what was that? Last 16 we're in it, last 8. Oh my God! Just think about it. The way we've been since Christmas time, we've been absolutely shocking at times, and here we are. We're still in Europe. Fabulous stuff. Fabulous for the club, and all augurs well. Hopefully, this a change in the club will make a big difference for us. Big difference, and we'll get people in that want to run the club in the way that the club wants to be run, if you follow what I mean. The fans are looking forward to something good, and we deserve it. The fans deserve it. And since the last couple of games there, Fenerbahce and the Celtic game, it's been absolutely spot on for us. Absolutely spot on. We really are good, and we're looking good, and I'm happy. There you go. I'm happy. As GB said there, our players and Obear as well, our players that were on international duty all did very well, as far as we know about the reports. I haven't seen any of the games, but I heard that Suter played well, and I heard that young Raskin played well, and apparently he played really well. So really good. I'm happy, very happy.
I think GB, one of the things we should be looking at is the Wales medical team, because they pulled off a minor miracle and actually get Matondo in the football park. I think we want to sign them.
Aye, or sign him because he scored a goal as well. So, aye, I'm glad he's shining, because hopefully it means that we're getting him out the door in the summer. So, but kind of back to Barry Albert, do you think he honestly believed that it was going to go the way it's went so far, out of the qualification, and then obviously gone to Celtic Park? Do you honestly think that he came in and thought the team would have responded as well as it did?
No, I don't. Well, I think it's unfortunate, by the way, because he had the St Mirren game and the Motherwell game, and both of them were stinking. And then we had the Kilmarnock game. First half, the Kilmarnock game was stinking. Second half was good. So for that point of view, but the big games, I think in his mind, he'd have thought St Mirren, Motherwell, and Kilmarnock, I can pick up 9 points. Hope to pick up 9 points there. And the Fenerbahce and the Scum game, he'd have thought he'd have struggled. That's what was in his mind. I bet you that was in his mind. But it worked out completely opposite me. And that's just football. That's the way it should be. It's just unpredictable. You never know. But it went, it's beyond his wildest dreams the way it worked out, mate, to be honest with you, because he won the counting the both legs of the Fenerbahce. He won the two games, the two most important games. Let's be honest about it. He won the most important games. It would have been better if he'd have won them all, right enough. Would have been sitting a lot better in the league as well, believe it or believe it not. But there you go. It's just the way it is, isn't it? It's just football. It's you can't say it, but you can never predict anything. You can never predict everything. It's just you never know what's going to happen, and it's been proved. But he's delighted. I've listened to his interview. I know you're going to listen to it soon, but he was delighted with it, and I can't blame him. We were all delighted with it, especially up there. I mean, 5 years, no beating them 5 years up there. That's ridiculous, mate. That's just not acceptable. It's no. It shouldn't be. Should never let that happen again, mate. It's just bad, really bad.
I agree. And this is what I'm saying. We've kind of just sat in the doldrums about that. We've just kind of, as a fan group, we've just kind of allowed it to be a kind of a run-of-the-mill thing. And I'm glad, like I says, Barry's came in and read the Riot Act on the players. Bridgeman, I think it just shows you that when you tell a player straight, and players straight, that look at the kind of performances you'll get out of them, especially against your nearest rivals. Don't get me wrong, Clement obviously got his result at New Year, but never seemed to kind of kick on for there. So I'm hoping Barry will probably telling the home truths. And it's one thing I remember Gerrard saying when he first came in as well, that he took away, the first thing he done is he took away all the excuses. He gave them the best equipment, he gave them the best tactics, he gave them the best food, he got the best chefs, all the rest of it, and he took away all the excuses for them, and then it was all done on them. And I think Barry Ferguson's starting to implement that a bit as well, Bridgeman, with taking away the excuses for them, and then it's all on them.
If he's doing that, then it's a top class act by him, because that's what you're looking to do. You're looking to be able to say to all the players, no matter who they are, whether it's individually or collectively, look, you've got no excuse. You don't have any excuses for this. And these poor performances that you're coming out with, I'm not saying that every single game is a poor performance, but it felt like it for a few weeks for the Rangers fans. There's terrible games, terrible game. And of course, I would like him to, if he could, imprint into all the players' minds. You're at Rangers, you're playing at Ibrox, and when you play at Ibrox, you don't lose goals. Just don't lose goals. That's the mentality you've got to have. I know you will lose goals. All I mean is that if you lose a goal, it's like somebody's cutting off your arm or your foot or whatever. That's how bad it is. That's how bad it is to lose a game at Ibrox. It should be for Rangers. So therefore, you put this never say die attitude into the players and the reasons for it, and they must respond on that. And if they do, then you'll have a very, very happy squad, and most assuredly tremendously happy fans. And that's the most important thing. And you might even start winning trophies.
Agree, mate. Well said. Right, well, if you get yourself to mute, we're actually going to hear from our manager because it was quite a lengthy press conference today, so we're going to split it into two. So we'll do 10 minutes for this first part, and then we'll do the other 10 minutes once we get the phone lines and that open. All right, so if you get yourself on mute, we'll hear from our manager, Barry Ferguson.
Barry, how's the last couple of weeks been a chance to breathe for the first time since coming in, really?
Yep, the players, obviously, I gave them a week off. Physically, they've put a lot into it, and it was good just to go and get a breather, as you says, and let the dust settle a wee bit. But listen, it's great to be back in. Now, that's the first day we've had all the international players back as well, so we just need to see how some of them are. They never trained today, a couple of them, because they travel, etc. But look, raring to go again, had a nice break, and now we look forward to the final couple of months of the season.
How is the squad looking in terms of injuries and the players that have come back from internationals? We not know for a couple of days how they are.
I won't know until tomorrow. There's one or stroke two that are carrying slight knocks. As I said, they've never trained today. I'll find out tomorrow. And if they don't train tomorrow, obviously they won't be part of the travelling squad. So I just need to wait and see how they wake up in the morning. They'll come in, they'll see the doctor and the physios, and then I'll need to make a decision on that.
And for you, actually getting some time with the team, I think it's the first kind of uninterrupted week, maybe without loads of games around. How beneficial has that been? And I know some players have been away, but to maybe try to introduce some new ideas without a game right on the horizon.
It's not been ideal, if I'm being honest, because I've not had everybody. Tomorrow will be the first day I've had everybody for a couple of weeks. But it was good. The guys who weren't in international duty, we've done a fair bit of work with them. And it was, as I said, it was enjoyable. Try to still put a few plans in place, the way that we want to approach games, whether that's different formations or a different approach to the game. So yeah, but ideally I would have loved everybody here, but also understand that there is internationals. They have to go away and play games of football. And but listen, it was a good working week. That's the most important thing for me.
Just on the Dundee game, is it a different challenge for you, maybe compared to the Old Firm game, the Fenerbahce game, where you don't have as much of the ball? Is it a different challenge for you to try and win these games where you do dominate the ball, which maybe prior to you coming in as manager, this group have struggled with a little bit more this season? Every
game, should I say, is a challenge, and this is a challenge that I'm looking forward to, because, as you know, over the course of the season, the games away from home haven't been to the standard which is expected at Rangers, and this is going to be a challenge for us in Saturday. We all know what Dundee done a couple of Sundays ago. They went across to Tannadice. I thought they were really good. They won the game there pretty convincingly. So I'm under no illusions what type of game it's going to be tomorrow, and the players have been told that today. They'll get told that again tomorrow, and it's a challenge as a Rangers player that you need to go and meet head on, and that's exactly what we're going to do, because Dundee are a good team. They've got a really good manager, albeit they have been in a bit of a bad run, but as I said, they had a brilliant result against Dundee United, so we're expecting a tough one, but we'll be certainly ready for that.
Is that the thing, Barry? Are these games almost what being a Rangers player is all about? I mean, the Old Firm games kind of take care of themselves almost when you step out, but these are the games where you need to turn up just as much. I
wouldn't say they take care of themselves. Old Firm games, you've still got to turn up and produce a performance, and that's what my group of players done, and they need to continue to do that. It's going to be the same against Dundee on Saturday. It's going to be it's going to be tough, as I said, and it's not about playing nice, pretty football at times. And my group of players need to learn that, and certainly they're starting to learn it. You've seen that in performances over the last 2 or 3 weeks, that sometimes you need to dig deep to get results, and that's maybe going to happen on Saturday. As I said, I would love to go and guarantee everybody that it's going to be nice, free-flowing, attractive football, but that's not the way it is in Scotland.
You have said that before, that they're almost too nice. How do you go about changing that as a manager?
I think I've changed that in the last 2 or 3 weeks.
How have you done that?
It's my secret.
That's been a big part of it, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has been a big part of it, and I've said that I'm not going to sit here and kid MD on. I thought we were far too nice, and you can't be nice at Rangers at times. As I said, when you step out in that park, every single team want to beat you, and you need to stand up to that. And certainly, bar the Motherwell game at home, my group of players are starting to show the standards that are expected. There's still a bit of work to go, there's no doubt. We're not sitting here and thinking everything's perfect. It's far from that, but they're certainly heading in the right direction. And I'm big on it. Training sessions, you have got to train the way you want to play, and that's in terms of intensity and high standards. And that's what I say every single day we walk through the doors.
So it's also interesting, Barry, since you've come in here, you've said they're your players. It's almost kind of deliberately something you've been saying. Is that almost been a kind of drawing a line under what happened before, and they are your guys now? That you said that from day one?
They are my players. I'm the manager just now, and do you know what? They're a very good group of players. There's just a few things that we had to really work on, and as I said, I keep giving them credit, and rightly so, because they've took a lot of things on board. Change is difficult at times, and in a short period of time, they've took a lot on board, and they've shown me that they're more than capable of being here and getting results. And we need to continue that. We're not going to rest easy, thinking, yeah, it was a great 10 days, we get into the last 8 of Europe. Great achievement, no doubt about that. You go across to Celtic Park, everybody's expecting us to get beat, but I had every confidence in them, the way that we approached the game. There was going to be a stage in the game that we may be tired, but then that's my job to go and make changes. And we come through that wee sticky period in the second half, and they come through it with flying colours. They go away, they rest, and they come back, and we've been back to work this week. And they now really understand what way we have to approach the rest of the games coming up to the end of the season.
I know you're always reluctant to talk about yourself, but is the last few weeks almost giving you your kind of love back of football management?
I've always loved football. In terms of football management, look, it came out of the blue in terms of taking this job, but look, I'm loving every single minute of it. I've got to be honest with you. I wake up in the morning excited to come in here, and that's the way I want my staff to be. That's the way I want the support staff run about the training centre, and most importantly, that's the way I want my players.
Barry, can I just ask about Nico Raskin? It was obviously a huge week from the performance at Parkhead, the goal, the assist, to go and get his first 2 caps for Belgium, and particularly the way his first start went in the second leg against Ukraine when he got the standing ovation. Just what did you make of his performance, if you've seen it, and what did you make of just how far he's still got to go in terms of his development?
He did all right, didn't he? I said I get asked the question a couple of weeks about Nico. Nico's got potential to play at the highest level, but he needs to understand that he's still got a few things he has to work on and has to learn. And if he does that, then what a chance he's got. He's 24. His best years are still in front of him. Since I've come in, he's been top class for me. But he has to continue that. It's not a case of going away and playing with his national team, and it's great to see him get his first start. I was absolutely delighted, but now it's a bit better than that. He comes back here, he has to produce the performances for me, and I'm sure if he does that, he'll become a regular in the Belgium national team.
In terms of role models though, I mean, he's gone in there, he's playing with Kevin De Bruyne or Lukaku. I mean, these are guys that played at the top level. I mean, for his development, that can be key as well, can't it? You know, seeing how, you know, those guys up close and what needs to be done to sort of reach those levels.
Yeah, you've got to try and learn off these guys. You're right, these guys have played at the highest level for many a years, and also when he comes back here, he's got a good coaching staff that will keep driving them on, and he's got good players alongside him. But the key for Nico is that he has to understand that it's not just a case of just being happy that he's made that first appearance. He's got to have the drive and determination to go and make 50, 60, 70 appearances for his national team. But he also has to understand that he needs to produce their performances week in, week out here at Rangers.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
That's it, folks. Phone lines are open, so it'll be really good to hear from you. I say it's been a long international break, so I'm sure there'll be a few fans out there itching to get their points out. Boys, Albert, the press conference, I want to take out of that first bit as well. The biggest thing I would say was the trend of him saying that he felt that Barry Ferguson felt that we were too nice. Is that true? Were we too nice under Clermont, or was it just that Barry's had to install a wee bit of the dark arts into them?
I think, well, he's been a supporter, just like the rest of us watching it, and we've said it on here a number of times, we're too nice, we don't do the dark arts very well, like the other teams do it against us, but I think some of their nature has been subdued for whatever reason, I don't know, but definitely we're too nice. We're letting people bully us, and we're just walking away and letting it happen during the game. Sometimes you just need to roll your sleeves up and get tore in, mate. That's just, I know that modern game does they actually allow you to do that. Depends which shirt you're wearing, right enough, because the certain teams get away with it, other teams just don't get away with it. I could name maybe 3-4 players within the Scottish League that just get away with the real dirty stuff, but other players don't, just simply don't. Jenny McGregor, they're too right away. They just get away with it all the time, foul. But other players don't. But that aside, we're just too nice. We really are just too nice. We've been saying it for long enough. Well, he as a supporter sat in these stands watching it, just as we're watching it, saying, oh, get up, get into this. But no, you can see a difference in us. We're not going to get bullied anymore. In fact, the club's not going to get bullied anymore. I dare say we'll come on to that. But times are changing, and no before time, to be honest with you, because we've watched it for years.
Bridgeman, one of the things that I was probably a bit critical of Clermont was that he was saying that he didn't want his players doing certain tackles in games and stuff. And as you've been a big defender, it's sometimes the dirty bit of the game is giving somebody a sore one, going into a tackle to show that you're in a game here. And I think Barry's brought a bit of that back, and I think we've seen it in Old Firm.
Well, I think he's right. The things that you've just said to yourself and Albert, they're all bang on. But if you get to a certain level in football, it's not all about just kicking the ball. It's all about a state of mind, and the opposition, whomever they may be, are out to wind you up. And if they can get behind, if they can get under your skin, it's sure as shooting, you're going to end up losing whatever concentration you have. I'm not saying you're going to do any damage, but the thing that's going to get hit is your game. You'll lose the game. You'll do all that. You have to be able to either ignore what the people are saying, because there's a lot of that goes on, and a lot of the wee snidey ones, you punch in the side and the sort of elbow and the shoulder. It's very sore when you get it in the can't remember the bone. But when you get an elbow up there, it is quite painful. So you've got to be able to do that, return those favours. And I'm not saying go out and kill anyone. Don't be like me, please. No, just
smash them.
Go out and learn go out and understand what they're doing to you, and you do the same to them, only do it your own way. But make no mistake, don't try to be soft about it. You've got to go in measured and do it right. And then before long, they're going to understand that you're not going to stand for any of this crap. You're going to go ahead and do it. And if you go through the ball, take the man after it. That can be viewed two ways. Nowadays, depending on the jersey, as Albert says, depending on the jersey you're wearing, you'll get away with it, you know. But a lot of the times, we had a player, Ryan Jack, and he got absolutely crucified for some of the tackles he went, and he took the ball first and followed. He was falling all the way through, and he crunched a couple of players. And way back when I was a bit younger and we played football, the crunch wasn't a problem as long as you've taken the ball first. So it was the first man to the ball, and the strongest leg would win through. And that's the only thing I can say to anyone who watches, seen football, and enjoyed actually playing football at certain levels, because they'll kill you. People will kill your game and injure you badly, dead easy, injure you badly. So amount of, shall we say, fracas I got involved with on a football pitch were justified for me, but maybe not so for the opposition. But I didn't worry too much about them, because at the end of the day, it's part of the game, and you get tore in. And if you don't get tore in, then sometimes you're going to get hurt. You know, that's what I say.
Well, just got close, Bridgeman. We've been joined with our first caller. David, are you there, mate?
Yeah, lads.
How we doing, buddy? Enjoyed your wee break?
Well, I've just put my wee squishy water bottle down there.
Oh, aye. Well, I think Rangers Radio will be investing in super soakers for the summer, mate.
You better believe it. I think we made a fortune off of that, man.
How's things, mate? What you want to talk about tonight?
Just absolutely delighted. The kind of obviously that international break. I'm not interested in the Scotland team, to be honest with you. I couldn't care less. But it was enjoyable to get into a break where we were well in front. It wasn't a smash and grab at Parkhead. I was on just before we went to Parkhead, and I said I fancied it strongly, and it wasn't been overly confident. I just fancied this. There's a different mentality now at Ibrox. I said that when the manager came in. As I said, we can all go on about coaching badges and all that, but there's a lot to be said for desire, work rate. And I knew when Rangers were going to Parkhead, how many times have we seen Rangers step out off that bus at Parkhead and they're going in with their heads down, and you know we're getting gubbed before the ball's been kicked. I don't believe that was ever the case that day. Barry's done an absolutely terrific job. Now, I'm not saying I don't believe he will get the job, but I'm just delighted that he's in here and we've got guys in there. Our difference, I know. I mean, I know we're going on about Fenerbahce back at Ibrox and they kind of beat us, but that's going to happen. They're not a bad side either. But it's everything about Rangers, even when you watch Rangers out with the possession, our shape is just brilliant. You've got Diamande breaking lines now. You've got Raskin's playing out his skin. Czerny's, Czerny didn't have his greatest game at Parkhead, but do you know what? He was always a threat, always, and you have to carry a threat. And when we went to 2 each, we knew we would have to weather that storm. But that's when you go back to yourself. You say, "Come on, Rangers, step up here, weather the storm, and we'll get a wee chance." And when it fell to the wee man, I tell you what, he's a special boy. He's been off a wee bit of form there for a number of weeks, but he's only a pup. He's only going to get better. He'll probably not be here for long, but this is the whole point. Get boys like this in, get them into international squads and sell them on, money back into the club, and just get your recruitment right. I'm delighted now with Rangers, delighted.
Albert, David makes a good point in that Old Firm game when it went 2-2. team did show good character, especially at Parkhead. And I'll be honest, when it went 2-2, I thought it was going to be the same old movie for Rangers that day. I thought it was going to be the hard luck story, that we put in a decent performance but get nothing out of the game. But again, they responded, and now that way, that kind of saying is you go and grab the game by the scruff of the neck. That goal grabbed the game by the scruff of the neck and ended that game.
I mean, we deserved the victory. There's no get away for that. We definitely deserved the victory. The first half was ours. Second half was probably theirs, but it didn't end up all theirs because we scored the winning goal in the second half. So I agree. Everybody, when it went to each, all the pundits, and most of the people, I know David said he didn't, but most of the people thought, this is like yourself, this is going to go one way. We've seen this movie before. Everybody thought that. Even their players thought that. Their manager thought it as well. But we, as David has pointed out, we're a different Rangers now. It's a wee bit of stronger mentality, and a wee bit people getting told what's what, the right way, getting told what's what. Not just this, do you know what it is to mean to play for Rangers and let them have a guess at it. And they get told what it is to play for Rangers for somebody who's played for Rangers and won things at Rangers. So, for that point of view, delighted. And make no mistake about it, the goal was, would they deserve to win a World Cup, let alone a meaningless, well, so-called meaningless league game. It was a superb goal, mate, an absolute superb goal.
David, did you still fancy us at the 2-2, or were you in that frame of mind that it was going to be the hard luck story again?
I know it's all right being an after-timer here, right, and saying, you know, after the result, you say, I did fancy us. But if God strikes me down, I was sitting with a right good blue nose of mine, right good mate of mine. And at 2 each, I says, we're going to come under the cosh here. But see, at any point in that game, I'm going to be honest, I didn't actually feel as if we were going to lose that game. Like, I still thought we carried a threat up top. But I kept saying to him, I says, get the wee man on, get him up top, and he's one chance, and he'll put it away. Now he gets a wee bit of luck with that kind of, he kind of ruffles up the centre half, and it gets a wee kind of, it rolls to him. But he takes his chance, and that's what it's all about in these games. How many times have we dominate? I mean, I've seen Rangers dominate all firm games for years now, even when we're getting gubbed. And I don't mean gubbed as in scoreline wise, but I mean just getting beat. And everybody gives it back to you and say, you couldn't finish this, that, and the next thing. Well, do you know what? We're starting to finish now. And I think it looks to me as if there's they know this as well, by the way. That's why they're going ballistic, but they can't take us. I mean, the most spoiled support I've ever seen in my life. Never known a support like them. If it ever gone their way for years and years and years. And now all of a sudden they know something's changing here. And let's be honest, I fancy us at Ibrox as well. So we could actually lose this league with, and it wouldn't surprise me if this league goes down to about 7 points or something they win it with. They'll win the league, right? We know that. But we could win 3 all-firm games here. Now, to me, that suggests that it's a mentality thing. It's no bit a quality thing. Rangers have got just as good a side as Celtic, if no better at times. And people used to laugh at me when I said there's no much between the sides. And they says, how can you say that when, I look back 26 of the last all-firm games. They beat us with more than one goal 4 times out of 26 games. That suggests to me there's no an absolute chasm. Do you understand what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, I definitely.
It's not like the war one time, isn't it? We were taking 4-0 and 5-1 defeats after me. It's not like that anymore. It's not like that anymore. I'm with you, David. I watched the game like you did. I didn't feel that they were threatening us. We were hanging on. I didn't feel that at all myself. I wasn't confident we'd go in and win it. I'm not saying I was. I wasn't about 2 each. I'm saying myself.
We were one goal away.
You know what I was actually waiting for, David?
Just before half time.
Sorry, mate. You know what I was waiting for? I was waiting for the obligatory dodgy refereeing decision coming our way.
That's part of the course, that, you know.
That's what 2 each. I'm sitting going, oh, here it comes. Wait for it now. Something will happen. They'll either get a penalty, a free kick, or something. Somebody's getting sent off or whatever. I was just waiting for it, mate.
And I've got to laugh. I know they were actually complaining about how bad the ref was. Not one of them get booked. Not one of them.
Not a single
They didn't
booking.
get a player
Never
booked.
heard it. Not a single booking in Old Firm game.
Not a booking they got at Parkhead. And they were moaning. And you know what? They can't. See, when Lawrence come on, I've said this for ages as well. We all know that Tom Lawrence is very technically gifted, you know, a good player. But I said it time and time again. You can't start them in the middle of the park at Parkhead that gets overrun by the legs. But bring him on, late on, you know, and he thumped that Maeda. And that wee boy goes half limping. And folk go, oh, he was an animal. You know what? Tough titty. Because we've been thumped for years now. And they're getting away with it. They don't like it.
No, they don't. And I think it was good that we seen it early line. I think, Bridgeman, we seen the Old Firm game early line, because as we've seen what happened when Gerrard done it at Parkhead, it was a tidal wave after that. We started to put doubt across the city. And I think if we keep continuing on, I mean, let's face it, the last 12 Firms we won, and then that one, the League Cup, we were, well, some would say we were cheated at it, but we were definitely the better team that day as well. So Celtic, Bridgeman, aren't they the issue? What the issue is that we need stability, we need consistency. And I think this is why Barry's been brought in. I think he's been brought in with his backroom team to try and instill that. And we'll get on to his second bit of his interview, Bridgeman. But I think if Barry instills that in them, then you might see them run with it, because that's what we're needing in a league like this. We're needing consistency.
Yeah, but to be at the top of the league, and anybody that watches played football, doesn't matter, will verify it. You need legs. You need legs, and you can see some of your better players in the midfield. You can see it during the game. They're starting to go. The legs start to go. If you've got players that are good, some got to be able to train them to be able to play a full 90 in the league anyway. Make sure you can play a full 90. Nothing else. Don't ask for anything else. It's 90 minutes. The 90 minutes at top of the form. Because you see sometimes where players, the legs are in the air sometimes, and they sort of drift away a wee bit, and before you know it, they're 30 yards away from the game, where the game's getting played, and they're way out of position. And they recover. Eventually they recover it, but we need to be able to do that. And secondly, I agree 100% what you said there. I think the first game over at their place this season, they beat us fair and square. They beat us. No, I don't have any problem with it. But all the other games that we played them, League Cup final, I thought we were robbed. But I think mostly our own selves robbed ourselves, if you follow what I mean. But they didn't beat us in any way, shape, or form. They didn't actually beat us, in my opinion. We let ourselves down a bit. To me, we were by far the better team, and I don't think they could beat us. And I took a lot of heart from that. And then when we played them at Ibrox, we absolutely murdered them. I mean, sincerely, on the pitch, we murdered them. And that has flattened them. They have never been able to pick themselves up properly. Okay, they're still going out and murdering a lot of teams. But the truth is that some of the teams that get a bit tougher, the Hibs and the Motherwells, and at times when they're up for the game, they can actually cause them problems. Whereas at the beginning of the season, they weren't causing them problems, you know. And that's what happens, in my opinion. And then the last game we played them there and beat them, deservedly beat them. 3-2, deservedly beat them at their own place. And as you said, we've not beat them there for 5 years. Well, we've done it now. So that's that record gone. So they're no undefeated. They're no unbeatable, blah, 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 blah. We've done it, and we've proved it. We've proved that every bit as good as them. We just need the people at the top, I mean, at the management level, to be good as what the players can be, and they can. We've got good. Look at the coaching squad we've got there. Absolutely brilliant, great players for Rangers. You'd think if we can get some of that knowledge and experience into these boys' ears, and let us see what they can do to be able to back up their own abilities, because we've got some smashing players. And I'm very, like David says, I'm very proud of them. I'm absolutely delighted. I just love them, and I can see them getting better and better. I don't know. I don't know that they'll turn up. Them. I don't know if they'll turn up at the Ibrox to beat us. I don't know if they'll be there as a good team. I personally think they've started packing their bags because that's a League One in their opinion. I doubt very much if they're going to. I'm talking about they might go out and beat all the other teams, but for us it doesn't matter. Their idea is it doesn't matter. We'll let you win. It doesn't matter to us, But that's fine. They can do that, but it matters to us. We need to beat them. That's all I say. Go out there. Don't win it. Don't lose a game from here to the end of the season. Don't lose a game, and you'll be amazed at what can happen if you don't win. If you don't lose a game, rather. Don't lose any games, particularly at Ibrox. Don't give away goals. Don't give away goals. Sorry, and don't lose games. And if we can do that for many games is left, 10 games, something like that, 12, if there is that, yeah, something like that. So we go, and if we can just run ourselves into the ground to the end of the season, I think we'll be very, very happy with the results. I just love the way we're playing.
David, the boys last night mentioned something about like cycles and stuff like that, and it showed across the city when they didn't have McGregor in that midfield how disjointed like say that Johnson was, and Carter Vickers, Schmeichel. I mean, that's he is on the way out. I mean, so the time is now.
I've got to say as well though, people going. I've heard this before. Like they said there after that game, we really miss Cal McGregor. Cal McGregor played at Ibrox when we leathered them 3-0, and it could have been more. So Cal McGregor's played against some players in the middle of the park at Ibrox that, to be honest, shouldn't have been in the middle of the park at Ibrox. I was a big Lundstrom fan. A lot of folk weren't they? But Lundstrom was trying to cover ground here, there and everywhere. Barry Ferguson's got a system now. He's got free to back there. And people go, no, that's you getting up. It's a lot of nonsense. Free to back, you can just completely change whether it's attack or defence. You can change. He's got a system there. But people going about Cal McGregor. I mean, I'm not absolutely convinced he would have made any difference in the middle of that park at all. And to be honest, he might have even made it worse. He was at Ibrox. He was anonymous. They've got this Belgian boy. It's £11 million they spent that dumpling. We need to start looking inside our club. We've got right good players there, proper players. Barry's got them. The mentality's different now. I watched Raskin in the second half, and I came on the following night. It was after Barry's first game, and obviously we were in at half time down at Rugby Park, and we were all over the place. But just before the 30-minute mark, he took young boy into a laugh, right? Now, I did feel sorry for the boy, but it's a tough environment at Ibrox, and he could have taken. I was more angry with his partner next to him, proper. But we came out that second half, and I seen something in Raskin. I says, he's got a wee lift here. He just looked as if he wanted to win everything. He was pointing here and there and everywhere. Diamandi was breaking the lines. Look, Diamandi, look, the goals are getting off him now. We're starting to see, I mean, a lot of people said, Diamandi, he's rotten. He was rotten because of no partnerships. Him and Raskin are the best midfield in Scotland by a country mile now. There's no question of that. They need to be better than they two. They're doing it in Europe now as well. They're Raskin being called up for Belgium, playing with top players. But I just think the Cal McGregor one, I'm not convinced he'd have made any difference whatsoever. I think that's just a nice, easy cop-out for them, because they always go that. There's always an excuse, isn't there? Always.
Aye. And by the way, what I was more getting at is that, like you're saying about the last Old Firm game, although he played, he was terrible. And this is what I'm saying. Their talisman now is on the way
Sorry,
out.
mate, I got your wrong. Sorry.
So he's like he's on the way out. So that is affecting them. You can tell with the team. The team's just no in sync. And these Old Firm games, it's gain as an opportunity.
It's all about starting the game early as well. Rangers started so many Old Firm games at Parkhead well and get 2 or 3 chances inside the first 10 minutes and never took any of them. That's a few times it's happened and we didn't take them and they came back into the game. But what we did there this time, we took our chances. We knew they were going to come back in it, but these boys have been through 120 odd minutes against Fenerbahce, a penalty shootout, an emotional night at Ibrox, and they go to Parkhead and everybody thought, oh, they'll get steamrolled, you know. And Barry came out with a comment, he says, well, there are no excuses here for tiredness or whatever, or well looked after, and I liked that right away. That was that mentality straight away, because I remember Clement came out with one, even before we kicked a ball against one of the European sides, and Celtic, and he says, you know, they've got this, that, this money and that. What a lot of nonsense.
I agree with you. Albert, the man management side of that game with Wayne Nasala, how Barry knew he put him on, and he needed to put him on at that moment, but it was good as well how it kind of, like that moment at Kamala, he's getting taken off and you think, oh God, like he's got to be like another Cantwell. He'll never be able to settle the team again. And yet Barry put him into that game, high pressure, and the boy was able to experience a win at Parkhead out it.
So let's not kid ourselves on. And Salah and a few other players are in the squad and in the team. The necessity, mate. It wasn't they deserved to get in the team. They played brilliant in the B team or whatever to get in the team. But now they've took their chances. And Salah's, him particularly, he's on a steep learning curve, the boy. He came in and he played well for a few games. He really did. And then he got bullied against St Mirren. They just targeted him as Motherwell did. Motherwell, can't remember. Somebody else did as well. They'll start targeting him because he's a young boy. So Ferguson took him out the firing line during the game, which is the right thing to do. The boy needs to learn that you can't be, we're not going to mollycoddle where you go to stand up for yourself, son. If you're not going to do it in the park, you're coming off. It's not to say you're a bad player. It's nothing to do with we don't like you anymore. It's nothing to do with that. It's to show the boy that this is professional level. This is professional level. So you've got to fight your corner. You can't. You're not going to get spoon fed. You've got to fight your corner. If you're not doing it, you're coming off. But we're going to put you back on. And I was delighted he went on at Parkhead, by the way, because that's Ferguson showing him, you do it, son. You play, you stand up and fight your corner. I'll put you in that team. There's no, and he's telling all the other young boys the same thing. Don't come on here with your wee boy attitude and your wee school bags and all that and think, oh, I'm only a boy. I'll get away with a lot of things. You don't get away with anything. If you want to play for Rangers, you want to play for Rangers. If you really want to play for Rangers, you better start standing up and act like a grown-up and a man instead of this stupid wee boy attitude that Rangers seem to foster for the last 10 years with these young players. You've got to get it into their heads. You need to grow up, son. We can't afford to take you into the first team and treat it like a crash and, oh, did that guy kick you there? I'm sorry, son. You need to go up there and lamp. You just need to go up and lamp. I was going to swear there. You need to go up and lamp them.
You're building up to that one.
Oh, I was, mate. I was.
Here's the back of my neck. I'm standing up here.
Let's get back. Just a wee touch on McGregor. You're just talking with McGregor. You've got to remember, Gerrard sussed him out right at the beginning. That's how Gerrard went for years without them beating us, if you remember, right? They couldn't beat us, but that's the reason. He pushed Kent right up onto him. Now he's doing it with Berjami. He's pushed Berjami onto him, or whoever's in there. It was Diomande. Push him up onto him and just take McGregor out. That's their style of play, mate. That's the key role in their whole team. Stop him. And all the rest of the teams in Scotland are starting to read it now. And this is why it's going to get really competitive now for now on. Because Hibs are starting to read it. Aberdeen have started to read it. You just stop him, you stop them. And they completely fall apart. It's there for everybody to see now. And now we've started doing it. We started doing it with Clement, the 3-0 game at Ibrox and the Cup final. And we outplayed them in both the games, by the way. And then we played them at Parkhead there, and we played them again for about a large portion of the game anyway. So that's it. We've got them sussed. They know they've got them sussed now. We know how to beat them. They're very, very easy to beat if you just follow the... But for a while, they went away from it before the Clement decided, oh, I'll push somebody up onto McGregor and close him down, and that's it, finish. We went this weird way. We thought we're trying all different things, and you're going, that wasn't working. The Gerrard system worked. You know what I mean? By pushing somebody on him. Now we're back to it again. Watch Hibs, they do it to them as well. Hearts are going to start doing it. Aberdeen are starting to do it. So they're not going to get away with scudding these teams. These teams are they're learning, and they're learning fast, and they know it. Because I expect next year's league programme to be a lot more competitive than any we've seen in the last 12 years. Not just for us. I think Hearts, Hibs, Aberdeen, Dundee, and I think they're all going to be really competitive next year. Because you've got to remember, a lot of American owners in the league now, and they'll not suffer fools gladly. They're not going to sit there and say, "Oh, we'll go in a game and we're the bit part player in this game today." They're not like that. They're going to compete in every game. And I'm saying to myself, that's the way it should be. That's the way it should be. Everybody's up to play for Rangers. We know, we see it, we all see it. We follow the Rangers. But no, everybody's up to play them. But well, it'll change next year. It will change, mate. And the sooner the better for me.
Good point, Albert, because you're right. I've seen kind of snippets about like what Hibs have been touted that they're looking today in the transfer market come the summer and stuff like that. So, I mean, like I says, if they're spending dough, other teams will like to spend dough. And David, just back to your point as well on the like this big gap that they keep going on about. There'll never be a big gap because of financial fair play. I mean, like they'll show in their probably profit sheets that they're doing better. But at the end of the day, you can only spend a certain amount. You know what I mean? So, and the way they've done it, unfortunately, fortunately for us, they've went and spent 10 million on 2 duds, near enough. So that will hamstring them for a good while, David. So we're in a probably good position going into summer with getting probably guys off the books and no spending this year. This will probably give us a good opportunity come this summer to spend.
Aye, I'm kind of looking at guys like, for instance, a guy like Boardroom. He's been a big letdown for me. I'd high hopes for him, but he's not kicked a ball. He'll be out the door in the summer, proper about the door. There'll be a few of them out the door. I would imagine I'm not a great lover of Hadji either. They said he's not signed his contract. I'll be honest with you, that doesn't really bother me because I wasn't a huge fan of Hadji anyway. And I understand people said, he stopped by the club all that, but he didn't really because he was good, touted everywhere and nobody was wanting to take him on. But I think there will be a gap next season. And I'm not saying there'll be a massive gap, but I think Rangers will win the league next season. And I think they'll win it pretty handsomely. I think Rangers have got a proper core of a right good side here. I totally agree with Albert there as well. See, even Albert and Bridgman, they're talking about see that mentality thumping folk. As Bridgman said, you're not talking about somebody going out and killing somebody on the park. But you need a proper mentality. Look at the difference it makes. Now, I'm going to every single one of us on this panel, and all the guys that are on the panels through all the weeks, not one of us, I would say, would doubt that Rangers have proper good players. Would you agree with that?
Albert, are you first, mate?
What were you saying, David? That we've got some good players, is that what you're saying?
Aye. So what I'm saying is, not one of us on this panel, or who's been on the panel for years or whatever, could deny that we know Rangers have got good players, but it's all been down to mentality. Nobody can tell me that Raskin isn't a better player than, for instance, somebody in the middle of the park with Celtic. Rangers get results in Europe time after time after time. It's down to mentality. As Bridgman says, teams
that think, David, to answer that, I think we've got a skeleton of a good team. There is some really good players in there. There's no doubt about that. There's some really good players there, but it's a skeleton. It's no a team yet. As I say, we're halfway through a rebuild. I kept saying that when Clement was there. We're halfway through a rebuild, and it's just the other half needs to be completed this summer. And if you get the right quality in there, I think we'll have a decent team, a real decent team. But again, it's down to money, it's down to finances. But we've got to remember, we'll probably get maybe anywhere between 6 and 12 players leaving. You've got Lawrence, Dowell, Davis, Cifuentes. You've got all these players to go.
They've
all got
and that's Fuentes. They'll get money for him.
Oh, aye, definitely, mate, definitely. But I've got a sneaky suspicion now. You need to be careful because these players, Lawrence and Dowell, Lawrence especially, he's out of contract. Hadji's out of contract, so they'll go no bother. But see, like Cifuentes, Davis, and all these ones, we want money for them. We definitely want money for them. Burjami is okay. But the ones you need to really worry about is Jeffrey, Raskin, Diomande, Igaman. You need to worry about them, Big and Salah. You need to start worrying about these boys because they're going to start coming after these boys because they know if they get them in now, they'll pay maybe 2/3 to a third of what their value is actually going to be because they're no daft, these Premiership clubs, and even about the clubs in Europe, they're no daft, mate. They can see what we can see. You can see the potential in these boys. You leave them another year with Rangers and they actually start filling up potential. You're talking big bucks now, big bucks. So these are the ones I'm worrying about this summer because especially Raskin. I mean, I watched the 10, 20 minutes of that game and he didn't look at a place in that park, mate. No chance did he look at a place in that park.
Supposedly,
Belgian win midfield. So you're looking at him and going, do you know how he wants to go to Chelsea? He's always said he wanted to go to Chelsea. You think Chelsea's not looking at him and saying, "This boy wants to play for us"? And look at him. He's just practically ran that
that's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. See, if you're not playing with Rangers, then you're not going to get a big move down south. Now that other side of the city have done it for years, bringing in boys and then selling them down south for an absolute fortune.
I bet. Wait a minute. Just to finish that point, David, you can come in, Paul. See the skeleton of the team we were talking about there. That's what I'm worrying about leaving. Other players are going to come and go, and the ones we've always suggested should go, will go. But the skeleton, that's the one that you don't want to go. No, right at this moment, or maybe we don't know, depending on the price we're going to get for them. So it's all down to money. But if we start getting rid of them, the money we've got and the money we'll get, we'll have to replace them before we even replace the ones we want away. You know what I'm saying? It gets a bit messy then because at the end of the day, we'll still go to have a team owning this park because the Rangers support deserve it. And we need a strong team on the park, something we all can get behind because we're sick of watching nonsense on the park. We're just sick of watching it. Now we'll get a wee taste of it now. We're starting to see the Fenerbahce in the game over there against them. You're starting to see something and you're saying, oh, this is getting more interesting. This is getting really, I wouldn't say really exciting apart from the UEFA Cup, but you're starting to enjoy it now and you're starting to look forward to games.
I agree with you.
Right, boys. We're nearly at that time. We've got a couple of minutes before the tune. After the tune, we'll hear the second part of Barry Ferguson's presser today. And there's a few talking points we kind of want to pull for that as well. So, what says, listen carefully and hopefully hear from you. So it's 0141 356 1972. Do what David's done. David's phoned in tonight, made good contribution to the show, good points. And David, as it stands now, if Barry Ferguson keeps doing what he's doing, is he the man to have a shot at it next season?
Well, I don't think he'll get the job. I just can't see it. But that's no any slur on Barry Ferguson because I'm delighted what he's doing now. But I don't think he will be the manager next season. No. Saying that, you just don't know what will happen in this Europe as well. So.
What's it? This exciting part of this interview. When I heard this today, I was like, I wonder if this is his kind of. He's been told more than what we're thinking. I mean, that's why I kind of go for the second part. So we'll see. But if you want to get yourselves on mute, we're going to have a tune.
I don't know if you can see what the Rangers really mean to me in these last few years. I've been afraid that we might drift away, so I've been telling old stories and singing songs that made me think about where we came from. And that's the reason why I feel so very proud today. So let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Ibrox Stadium is calling me, and now I'm coming home. To think of life without the Rangers, you know that it would make me more sad. Glasgow Rangers, you're everything I've ever had. We won 9 in a row when I'm still dreaming of Brian Laudrup and Trevor Stephen. Big Marvin Andrews said keep believing. Davy Cooper on the wing. And we remember Gaza with great affection. The day the helicopter changed direction, and Jimmy Baxter was pure perfection. Super Ali scores again. So let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Ibrox Stadium is calling me, and I'm coming home. To think of life without the Rangers, you know that it would make me more than sad. Glasgow Rangers, you're everything I've ever had. So let me tell you that I love you, and I think about you all the time. Ibrox Stadium is calling me, and I'm coming home. To think of life without the Rangers, you know that it would make me more sad. Glasgow Rangers, you're everything I've ever had. Without the Rangers, you know that it would make me more than sad. Glasgow Rangers is everything I've ever had.
Barry, can I ask you about the statement the club made, a strongly worded statement regarding some of the banners at Ibrox with the UEFA sanction, obviously. What was your thoughts on?
Yep, I seen the statement. Like everybody, look, the most important thing for me is that the fans are going to be inside the stadium supporting the team. I mean, since I've been back, the support that I've had from the stands has been brilliant. I appreciate it, the staff appreciates it, the players. So the most important thing is that we make sure the fans are inside. We don't want to see partial stadium closures or fines. We all get that. I just want to see my supporters getting right behind my team. That's the most important thing for me.
Considering how well you guys are doing in Europe, it would be a huge shame should one or two individuals write that for what would be thousands within the ground, wouldn't it?
It would be, because as I mentioned, they're so important. The drive is on, and as I said, since I've come through the doors, there's been a brilliant support for myself and the playing staff, and we want to see that continue. There's no doubt about that.
Can I also ask you about the aftermath of the Old Firm? There's been a lot made of Cherny's reaction after scoring the goal. What have you made of the reaction to what he did in the first line?
The reaction was he's excited because his teammates just scored what was to be the winning goal. I would have a problem if my players and my staff sat in their seat and never says a word or done anything. So I want to see players and staff celebrate. Why do we play football? We play football to win games. And when you win games, I want to see my players, my staff, celebrate alongside their supporters.
Have you played in so many of those games? Is that what derby matches are all about?
Yeah, sometimes you get a wee bit overexcited. I have no issues with that. And as I said, Vash was just overexcited with his teammate Hamza scoring a goal to get us a 3 points, where we've not been able to do that for five years, which is a long time.
There's been talk about investigations and police action. I mean, what do you make about all that sort of stuff surrounding that?
I'll let them deal with that. Listen, I've had a private chat with Vash. That will remain private. But one thing I've made clear to my players and my staff is when we score, we celebrate. And after the game, whether it's Celtic, whether it's Fenerbahce, whether it's St Mirren, whether it's whoever it is, Dundee, Aberdeen, Hibs, Hearts, if that whistle goes and we've won 3 points, I have no issue with going and celebrating with your fans. These guys pay a fortune to travel everywhere and come and support us. And I want to see a bit of passion, not just for the stands, but for my players.
Barry, Backclaff's obviously had a very good international break as well.
Sorry,
Backclaff's had a good international break as well. So obviously love him to see long term. Is there any news on that at all? Where are you with that?
The news is, I can only talk since I've been here as manager, and he's been outstanding for me. I've asked him to do things that maybe previously it's not been a part of his game, and I'm talking about the dirty side of the game when we've not got the ball. He has to be a real teammate and work hard for his team, and that's something that he's produced. I mean, we all know his quality going forward. In the final third, I call these sort of players difference makers. That's what Vaj is. He's a difference maker, but what I've loved from him is his work without the ball, and it's been excellent, and it's something that I said to him, if he adds that to his game, then he's going to be even better in what he is. But in terms of him staying here long term, I've not really spoke to him about it, if I'm being honest with you. I would love to see a player of that quality remain here, but I would hazard a guess that there's going to be a lot of clubs interested in him.
You just touched on it there. Is he the kind of player that, if the rumours around the fee are to be believed, it might be quite a substantial fee? Should Rangers be shelling that out to keep a player like that? Yeah.
Should Rangers be paying
that kind of money that's been talked about?
Well, he's a player I would love to see staying here. Whether that will happen or no, I've not had any talks. All I'm concerned is that I get him out in the pitch and I get him playing, and I get him playing really well for myself. But in terms of fees, in terms of Vash going back in the summer, I think you'll maybe see something happen over the next couple of months. I don't really know, but in terms of, I can only speak to how he's performed since I've took over the job. He's been immense for me, and I want to see that continue, obviously.
Just last couple, please, guys.
Speaking more generally, are you being involved? Speaking generally about what happens in the summer in terms of, are people consulting with you in terms of players coming or going? Are you having much of an input at this point?
You're trying to get things out, aren't you? These things remain private. You've got to respect that. But my focus is winning games of football just now. I'm not focusing on my future, other players' futures, whether they're on loan or they're out of contract. I need to make sure that I've got a team that's going to be going out on the pitch. Certainly come Saturday at 5:30 against Dundee, and making sure we come back down the road with 3 points. That's the things that I need to focus on.
Barry, because you've made such a big impact since coming in, a lot of people, I know you don't want to talk about your future necessarily, but people are saying you actually have done enough now to be in the mix to continue beyond the end of the season. Can I just ask, would you like to be in that mix? Would you like to be the Rangers permanent manager?
You're trying your best, and I respect it, you're trying, but I've got to be honest with you, no, I'm not even thinking further ahead in the last game of the season. Seriously, I've been brought in to do a job, and that was to try and get results. If I look at the period of games I've been in, I think it's been okay, decent. It needs to be better, and that's my aim over the next couple of months, to make sure we consistently start to get results. There's no use going and doing what we've done previous to the international break, that 10 days. Great getting the club into the last 8, great going to Celtic Park and beating your fiercest rivals, but that's in the past now. My focus is now going up to places like Dens Park, where we've struggled the last couple of games, making sure we get 3 points, because it's going to be difficult.
What's been made of the word standards? You've mentioned it a couple of times. Jack Butland as well said he knows what's expected. Now, see the standards, is that applying to the fans as well? Just to return to the banner and what UEFA have done, you've got a certain standard for players on the pitch, but also what you want to see at Ibrox around the pitch.
Yeah, well, I can go and I'm manager of the football team, and there's high standards now, and if MD dips below these standards, then I'm afraid you're not going to be part of the team. But in terms of the banners, look, the club have made a statement. I think they've made it clear. And my message is, I just want the fans to make sure they go and they behave themselves, because we need them. Because as I said to you, since I've come in here, they've been a brilliant support. They've got right behind us, and that's key. Because you need your supporters driving you on.
Last one, Robert.
The secret to the changes that you made, your goalkeeper might have given it away. He said there's been more of the hairdryer in the last wee while. Is that?
What did he?
Is that maybe?
I'm trying to say to people that I'm pretty calm now.
But you're saying they're too nice. Is that one way to get them? That you're not afraid to?
Listen, I just, in terms of that, we were a good football team, but it takes more at Rangers. You need more than just a good football team. And listen, what we say in the dressing room and in the meeting rooms, I'll remain private. But what I need to see is I needed to see a different side of them, and they're starting to show that. Slowly but surely, we're starting to get to the place where I want us to be, but we're still not there yet. There's still a lot of work to be done, and time will tell over the next couple of months.
But Barry, has the job been everything you thought it would be? Has it been has it been different in any aspect?
It has, because I need to see yous every 3 days.
Obviously, you were here as a player for such a long time and dealt with top managers, but is it different from what you thought it would be?
It's a lot busier, if I'm being honest with you. There's a lot more in terms of, it's not just about the players and the staff. You've got to do a lot more out with that. But you know what? I'm loving it. I'm looking forward to coming into work every single morning, and that's important to me. And it's important to me as a manager, seeing my players coming in and smiling and looking forward to training. Because once the whistle goes, it's work, it's hard work, hard graft. But look, it's everything I thought it would be. Look, a few more hours than what I'm normally used to. But as I said, I'm enjoying it. I'm going to just embrace the challenge. I've said that right at the start. I'm going to go and I'm going to give it everything I've got, along with my staff. And the important thing is, when I come in, I was wanting to drag my players that way as well, and they're starting to come beside us and understand what it is to play for this club.
Why don't you give us a call on 0141 356 1972. It's your show, it's your platform. Let's hear from you.
Thanks for that, Fox. That says a lot of stuff there. Good tune for Albert as well. And amongst all
I love that tune. I absolutely love that tune.
Albert, the David, you back with us as well, mate? Aye.
I am back, lads.
Brilliant, mate. Brilliant.
Unfortunately for you.
No, not at all, mate. We're glad to have you, mate. Albert, I'll come at you first with that kind of second bit of that interview. The reason why I was saying earlier about, I think Barry Ferguson knows more than obviously what we're surmising about this next manager of Rangers, is that he keeps saying this, I'm going to give it everything I've got, and he's been like having private conversations about players that could be potentially still here in the summer and all that. Like, for me, that's kind of, I think he's been getting the remit is go and see what you can do, and if the results reflect well, then you'll have a shot at it. That's what I'm kind of taking for it. And that's why he keeps saying, I'm going to give you everything I've got, and hopefully by the end of this contract that they'll go from it. John Colbert.
I don't know. I'm not taking that out of that. I don't think so, mate. I don't know. He might get the job, he might not get the job. It's one of the things. But my concern is, I've no concern if he gets the job per se, but You've got to say how many interim managers have been a success. I mean, I can think dozens of them. Though they start off great and they get Solskjaer at Manchester United is a good example. Starts off great. They finally give him the job and he just collapses. So Manchester United just collapse. It's one of the things that no many interim managers last a long term. Long term is what 3 year in management. It's long term now. So I don't know, mate. It's and players. I think that the role of the manager now has changed when it regarding players, bringing players into the club. Clement got a wee bit of leeway because there was nobody, no sporting director, there's no chairman, there was no this, that, or the next thing. But normally you've got all that infrastructure in place. I think that the manager will just say to them, I need a centre half, or I need a goalkeeper, I need a whatever, and they go and get him one, and then he's got to manage him into the team and then manage the team itself. I think that's the modern way to do it. It's right or wrongly. That's the thing. That's the way I think they go about the picking players now. I think the days of managers having an influence in picking players have gone. I don't know if that's right or wrong, but it's to me it's a fact. It's just you want a winger, there's a winger. We'll get the best possible winger. Right winger, left winger that we possibly get, or best centre half you can possibly afford, or it's who's available, and you just go on with it. You manage it. You manage the team because let's be honest about it. You don't have to spend. I keep going on with this. You don't have to spend hundreds of millions to build a good team. It helps at times. It helps cover a lot of mistakes it's getting made with signing players. You sign that many. You sign 10, you maybe get 2. So I mean, it's a 20% hit rate. That's all money brings. But if you get people in who know what they're doing and can build teams, it makes some difference, mate. You don't need hundreds of millions of pounds. A lot of teams in the Premier League have proved the point nicely, mate. Some of them have spent not just hundreds of millions, billions of pounds they're spending now. I mean, I think Manchester City's up to near close to £2 billion since the Arabs took over. It's ridiculous money. So it doesn't always work. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, we'll see what happens. But I don't know if he's going to get the job, mate. I don't know. I don't know if I want him in the job. I don't know if it'd be that big an upset if he did get the job. Because what he's doing the news, I said it when he came in, he's to sell season tickets. Let's be honest with me. The way we were going and the way everybody turned on Clement, people threatened to stay away and walkouts, and then the season renewals are coming up. So you're thinking, club's no stupid. I mean, I don't know what the Americans are doing today, but we need to get a factor in there that's going to draw the crowd back to Ibrox and make them renew their tickets. Don't think for a minute they wouldn't renew their tickets, but you never know, mate. But I think that's what he was brought in today. Predominantly, that's what he was brought in today. Everything else is just gravy. Like beating Fenerbahce, beating them, that's all just gravy, mate. I don't even think the senior management thought that would happen.
No, I agree, Albert, and this is why I'm torn on it with Barry Ferguson, because I think maybe the senior management expected that we'd be out of Europe by now. We'd have probably had another Old Firm defeat, and Barry Ferguson was just a kind of caretaker to the end of the season kind of thing. But as these results go on, David, the hard thing is that it's probably making it. It's as Albert says, we're creating the fans getting excited. The fans will be encouraged to buy season tickets because the team's doing well. And if the team's doing well, that means Barry Ferguson's doing well. Then you're kind of setting yourself up to hire him. And it would be easier if he did fail, because then you wouldn't feel as if you had to hold on to him. Whereas with him doing well, there will be that part of the support that will feel that with these new owners, they don't got any time to implement everything they want. So maybe they want a steady hand for a season to see how it goes. David, your thoughts, mate?
I agree with Albert there as well when he was saying about Barry's kind of situation now. I do understand that, but some people go, how can you possibly give him a job, after a couple of results here, and then somebody will hit back and say, well, we get beat at, Ibrox against Motherwell, for instance. I genuinely don't think Barry Ferguson will get the job. I think there'll already be something in place somewhere. My only concern would be, and I don't mean to just rule out everybody in Europe, or every foreigner or whatever. But my concern would be that a lot of the foreigners we brought in, it's not really worked. And I get that, Clement had a bit of a hard time with, he was juggling boardroom things, and that should never happen to the guy. But I just think, with Steven Gerrard in there, I'm amazed that some people don't think some people wouldn't have Gerrard back. Gerrard for me, would be my number one pick as the next manager. No question. I just don't understand how people think that he was just a failure. People's got to realise how he came into a club that was in the doldrums, man, and beat off Prodes Niederkorn in Europe. He got our standards up in Europe. He brought all sorts of standards to the club. He attracted top players. He was brutal at times with certain players. He was also very, very good in all firm matches. And we won, the one we won 1-0 by Ryan Jack at Ibrox. That was due because we were battering them. We also get, the cup final, people going about stuff like that, referees and that. There was 4 of them offside. The beats 1-0, we battered them that day. I think he needs somebody that knows the club, and I don't believe for 1 minute. I've heard people say, there's a possibility if somebody comes in, Barry might stay on as assistant. I don't think that will happen in a million years. Barry wants a job, and if he's not getting a job, he'll be away. And fair play to him. But I don't think he'll get the job. I also don't think Gerrard will get the job. They're talking about this guy, is it Royce or Bigmy for Leipzig today?
All right.
They're talking about him. Sorry, please. And I kind of looked at his record and on. They're going, he's a great. I'm not overly convinced. I don't know. I might be miles off it. Gerrard would be my number one pick, 100%. Barry can only do what he's doing.
I'll bring in Bridgman.
I have to agree with that. Gerrard would be my number one pick, but I'm not. Don't want to take anything away from Barry Ferguson, and he's got the job, by the sounds of it, until the end of the season, or until whenever the new group, if it all happens nicely, whenever they're ready to look at the manager and how the management structure is going to work, whether in fact Barry Ferguson will fit into it. Obviously, people don't know, but I personally, I would rather have shall we say, the stature of Steven Gerrard at Ibrox. I think it'd be better for us. But take nothing away from Barry Ferguson. If Barry Ferguson is in the position, and if we do really, really well till the end of the season, then he's got a fabulous chance of anything coming through. He could be. I not necessarily disagree, but I do slightly disagree with David. I would say that Barry Ferguson might be offered, if you brought in, Steven Gerrard, he might be offered the assistant manager's job under Steven Gerrard, with a view that Gerrard would step up to be a football director or a director of football, or whatever term they want to use nowadays. In a couple of years' time, and the job's all Barry's, and actually Barry might be left to go on with it, and under Gerrard. I would love to see Gerrard about Ibrox. It'd be fantastic. Great. It's great for the team's stature. But young Barry, take nothing away from Barry. Nobody could take anything away from Barry. For what he's done, he's only been in the door 5 minutes, and there's been riots all over the east end of Glasgow. They absolutely hate us. We're the worst thing that's ever happened. And why is that? Because we've won one game in 5 years at their midden, and they do everything. They've got all the authorities. They've got all the referees on their side. Everybody's on their side except us. And that's the truth. Your radios, your TVs, every single one of them, probably 99% of the newspaper press, everybody is all within the Celtic area. And they've got finger on the till because they get access to them. We don't get access anymore. We don't. We're hardly mentioned. it's an oversight by someone if they mention Rangers on the news and everything tonight. There's just no, unless there's a negative story. Well, I'll put that out straight away, you know. But I just the hilarity and within my heart when I listen to these things and I see, you know, what are they complaining about now? You got a million complaints, you know. What are they complaining about? They get bumped and that's all there is to it. So let them go on with it. And no, they can't take it. Of course they can't take it. And I don't like getting beat by them, but I don't think Rangers should ever stoop to their levels of what they're trying to do. And you know they're trying to make that run and run and run. No matter what it is, something negative, it'll run and run and run. They're now going to try and get European people to come in and ban because somebody put a what do you call it? A banner up. Have we not seen all the most horrible banners in the world at their end whenever we play them? They're putting coffins down when we get sent down. They're putting coffins down to show it we're dead. All this nonsense. We've seen them all. We know what they're like. And the way they're going
political
today,
stuff and the Palestine flags every week.
Absolutely. You're not allowed political. No, oh, by the way, what do you call it? No discrimination of any kind. And it's all there. It's a theatre of discrimination over there. A theatre of discrimination.
You're right with the hanging and all, but people hanging for the stands. Remember?
Absolutely, they've done it all. Everything you could ever imagine. Everything you could ever imagine to go against the Rangers, they'll do it. And if they get away with more,
suck it up in the next couple of years, Bridgeman, because we're coming.
Well, we
big
hope so. By the way, I'm on your side here. I think we've got a great chance, a great opportunity to consolidate with the team. And some of the players that we've got in midfield, for instance, the most important place. And there was about 6 weeks ago we were talking about maybe as Diamande got it because it seemed to be falling out of the game and getting taken off and all that daft things. I thought he had a fabulous game against them the last time he played them. Absolutely brilliant. And there you go. We're there. We've got some.
Can I
really
just jump in here for 1 second as well? See the spine of the squad. Big Suter, I thought, was absolutely tremendous at the Piggery. He'd Balogun next to him at the start, and then Proper come on. But I thought Suter was tremendous. I also thought Barnes, that's 2 games, or 3 games Barnes played. He wasn't get a game under Clement. Barry brings him into the engine room, and that wee boy's just putting out fires everywhere. Now, he's not going to, defence splitting passes or whatever, but he puts fires out. He's an animal. He wins the ball, and he just gives it to the players that can play. And this is what you need.
He's made good points, boys. I can't disagree with you. To be fair, I think it's going to be interesting, albeit what manager actually takes this mantle on, because it's a big summer. It's and by the way, we're forgetting about this assistant manager, Assam. I mean, he was part of Clement, and yet he was told to stick around. So who hired him in? And why was he kept around as well? Albert, over to you, mate.
Well, he's only just brought. You can't blame him for it. No, I mean, he's only been in the job weeks. No, I'm not saying you're blaming him. I'm just saying that anybody. That's the reason he's kept on is because he was only in the job for weeks, so he's never had any influence on what was happening. So they've got him in as an assistant manager. Obviously, had a long-term plan for the guy because he was the Moroccan under-21 coach. So he looks to be getting on well with the other boys that come in, Ferguson, McGregor, Dodds and McCann. They all look they're getting on pretty well, which is a good sign. But it's part and parcel. Who knows? The manager's going to be the manager. I would hope that in the background that they're confident the deal for the 49ers are confident the deal is going to go through. And if they're that confident, I'm sure they've put their thoughts and plans in place to say the conversations when they sign the documents and get control of the club. The first conversations will already be mapped out what they're going to be talking about and who they're wanting in to do what. But anyway, it's one of the things. It's you'll never know. We're up in the air. Let's be honest about it. We're all over the place. We're in a league race. that we're miles behind. We're in a UEFA Cup quarter-finals that nobody's expecting us to beat this mob, this Atletico Bilbao. And that's about it. We're just waiting for the league to run down and then the takeover that's not quite complete. We've got a manager in a temporary situation. So we're all over the place at the moment, basically. We might seem that we're going in the right direction, but we're not there yet. We're just going round in circles like a hamster on a wheel. We're just going round in circles and circles till something actually gets firmed up and finalised. We're going nowhere, mate. And it's difficult. You can speculate all you want. But I'm sure if the reports that we're hearing about these Americans and the way they go about their business is true, I'm sure this is all thought out, mate. I wouldn't imagine they're just going to rock up to Ibrox after signing, getting control of the club and going, right, what we're going to do now? I don't think that's their style. I think this is the plans have already been in place. They see the potential and they know the first moves that need to be done. And it's all about foundations as well, mate. They're not going to go in and do anything crazy and stupid and short-term fixes. They're going to go in and start setting the club up properly and a solid foundation to take it forward. There's no use building in sand, mate. You've got to get the basics right. And if you don't get the basics right, the rest of it will not fall into place. It's as simple as that. We all know that. So I think this is a professional organisation that will know exactly what they're doing. But first things first, they've not got control of the club yet. That deal's no signed yet. Wait till that's signed. And then you can start talking about managers and players and budgets and what we're going to do, what's our first moves and all that, all the good stuff, you know what I mean?
Aye. David, I agree with Albert. I think there must be things in the background because I think the boys touched on it last night. We're going to have to move fast. We're still looking for a director of football. We're potentially looking at a full new management team. We're going to have to sign players. I mean, there's multiple things that this need to get moving, and I think the rumour I heard was that April was there was got to be movement in April, at least the director of football. So that kind of thing, I'm hoping in the next 4 weeks we start to see the movement because, as Albert says, we are in a wee bit of lull. We like what Barry Ferguson's doing, but we're unsure should we get fully behind it because we don't know if he's got to be the man for next season. We don't know what kind of money we're going to spend in the summer. So things need to start getting moving. I would say next month, minimum.
All bear spot on, but I would imagine like there's some people that are telling you it's basically, I mean, it's very, very close to being over the line. Is in regards to a director of football, I've never been a huge fan of this because as a manager you live and die by your decisions on the park. So you're a director of football. I don't really know what they do, and I know people go, they look at certain players and they bring. You see, if you don't like him as a manager, here's your left back. You need to fit him in somewhere. I don't know. I know that's the way football's going. I understand that, right? But I don't know about director of footballs and all that. What I do think is that I think it's very close. Obviously, even though every guy that are in at Ibrox and they know their onions, they're telling you it's very, very close. These guys aren't coming in here for a joke, and they're certainly not coming in to be second in Scottish football. As Albert says, you can't go out and spend just crazy money and throw money here, there, and everywhere. It's got to be structured. It's got to be that you want. It's recruitment. Recruitment is so key. That is the biggest thing in a football is recruitment. If you can't recruit the right players, then forget it. So I think these guys will be spot on. I think this is going to be just. Well, I'm looking forward to it anyway. Put it that way.
Can I come in on that?
Bridge. Aye, Bridge. Yeah. That's what's going to come at you, mate.
Thanks, Paul. I agree 100% with what we're saying here. I think we're all reading off the same notepad. It's just there. Actually, I'm a wee bit more scared because I want it to happen so much. I don't say that you don't, but I just want it to happen so much, and a wee bit fear tingles in because I don't hear the main positive side of it. But you hear some positives. But I think it's great. One of the things that young Barry is going to learn certainly in the next couple of months is whether, in fact, anybody, I mean this in all sincerity, anybody at an important level in Glasgow Rangers, do they want him or do they not want him? Because before we sign a new manager, he's got to run to the end of the season. And are we going to run him to the end of the season, or are we going to bring in the new manager and let him get the last couple of weeks of the season under his belt and see what happens? It's a choice, isn't it? And I don't know how they're going to do it. If it's going to be a director of football, if it's going to be that way, and yet a director of football is a really good position, and has got a key position in going out and doing the business. Let the manager manage the players on the pitch, but obviously the manager needs to be involved in discussions about who the guy's going to go and see. So we've got 100 names here. We need to scale them down and let's sit with the manager and talk it through with him and his team. Because it's not just the manager, I would say it's all the coaches and so on and so forth. So they don't want to bring in any duds, and they want to get it right as much as possible. I think Stephen Gerrard will whiz at that, to be honest. I would love to see Stephen Gerrard as a manager. Let me tell you that right now. I won't say anything else other than that, but he could get a great position. And there's even thoughts that my other hero was Graham Souness, and I'd love to Graham Souness to be back in the director's side with Rangers, because I think he'd be a great bridge between the board and at a certain level and the sporting director of the football, director of football. I just love these things. I want the team to be the best it can be, and I want the best people in that can make that happen for whomever it is that's a manager. I want the best people in there that will have Rangers at heart and be able to tell whomever it is above them, wait a minute, that's not right, this is what we must do. And there's the proof of it. Look at Liverpool there, look at so-and-so there, this is what they did, and we should be doing a similar thing. And all of that is great evidence for how we want to go. And I just wish everybody involved in it the very best, because it's going to be nail tingling. It's going to everybody bite the nail, because it's going to be something else if it goes through. It's going to be very exciting times, And I'm sure right now, sitting here, that half the stuff that I've been saying tonight will never see the light of day. That'll not happen. It's going to happen some other way. But I hope the club get it right. I really do. It's really exciting talking to you guys about these things. It's fantastic.
I'll bring you in here, now, mate. The first kind of murmurings of this takeover, you were very cagey about it, and I think you're right. Even the new, mate, with how we need to hold back our expectations a bit, because and for the new owners as well, they really do need to step up to the mark, because fans will not be happy if they come in and they go with the same Dave King budget of 14 million for the manager to spend, or something similar like Clermont. The fans will be pretty peeved if that's what happens and the new owners come in. The new owners come in are going to have to show us something, that they're here for the fight. And Mahid's telling me that they will do that. They will come in and they will improve things fast. But the Hearts tell me that it's maybe going to take a bit longer, and we'll see small things, and we might just have to cover our expectations a bit.
Well, we've got halfway through our rebuild, mate. That's a fact. They know that before they come in, right? So we need to complete that rebuild as best we can. I don't mean haphazardly or just that mend and make do that all day. I don't mean that at all. I would reckon you're going to get a budget anywhere between 13 and 25 million, mate. I think that's what Rangers will spend this summer. I hope they never come out and tell us what the budget's going to be, because every time you come out and tell people what your budget is, the zeros magically appear and just bang ordinary players, no? So I reckon it's going to be I think you're going to get, whether they come in or no, you did a £13 million, run about a £13 million budget. Now you've got to sell players. And out of the players we've got to sell, Davis, Dowell, Cifuentes, people like that, is you obviously Matondo and all that. You're going to at least raise 7 million for them, at least 7 million for all of them. There's no doubt about that, mate. So that takes it up to 20 million. And if they can squeeze another 5 million somewhere else, they'll give you up to spend on the team. So I reckon that's what's going to happen. And out of that, you're going to be looking for, I can speculate on who we'd like to see: defenders, midfielders, forwards, goalkeepers, whatever. You can have some fun with all that. But they're not going to, I don't see, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm completely wrong, but I don't see them coming in and getting you a big, large, huge cheque produced out of nowhere to say, well, here's 30 million, I wouldn't spend that. They'll not do that, mate. They're investors. They're nobody's fool. They're not coming in to splash money about with no return. They'll do it with a long-term investment. They'll look for the future to bring money in and make money on it. Maybe you'll not make it right away, but they'll know there's potential there to make money. But they'll know they ain't crazy, mate. And they'll know from my understanding, and I don't know that much about them, they're not that type of people, mate. They don't do things like that. They'll look at what the club needs, the playing staff, the club in general, what it needs to actually take it into some sort of stronger position commercially. That's what they'll do, mate. There's no doubt about that. They're not going to be stupid, put it that way. They're not going to be this gung-ho attitude that's going to go. But with David, it's exciting times, and it will be good to see. My big concerns, and it's still there, is you're getting away the control of the club now. Let's no kid on what we're doing here, mate. If this goes through, Rangers supporters do not have any control over Rangers anymore. And that's a fact. We're back to square one with the David Murray carry on. So we're back there. The thing that was said, we didn't want ever to happen again. Well, we're back there. We lose that 51%. There goes the control of the club. That's fine and dandy, and it can work out. I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but you need to be realise that that's what we're doing. And the other thing is, it's when if they ever do, and I hope it's many years from now, but if they ever do want to sell up and go on and move on, who do they sell it to? You've no control of who they sell it to that either. They can sell it to whoever they want. So yeah, that's my big concerns. That's the thing, and I never thought I'd see again in my lifetime after what happened to us. But there you are, we're right back to where we started. So we need to be careful, mate. And you need to keep a close eye on them. Somebody somewhere needs to keep a close eye on them, and not give them free hand totally without any resistance for some of the things that they might want to do. And there will be things they want to do that we're not going to agree with. Some of it will be okay, but some of it won't be okay. So you need to get in your head that we're not going to sit back and just accept everything and ram down our throat. But put it this way, if it comes to a choice between them getting their way and us getting our way, they're going to get their way because they own the club.
I agree, aye. And David, I was surprised to see, again, only rumours, but there's going to be supposedly a big focus on the training centre. I mean, for me, when Gerrard came in, that was a big bit that they did already focus on, and it just shows you that whatever's happened between Gerrard leaving and up to the now, that it's kind of fell away again, and this new consortium's want to come in and read the place out again, and probably bring it up to the standards of an elite football club, which is good, because clearly our injury front hasn't been great, and we've probably got to need a strong manager as well that doesn't. Oh, I hope he doesn't listen to sports science all the time, because as we've seen with Barry, he's tell a few of them the home truths with
tiredness. It's amazing that a load of them are fit now.
Aye. And tiredness is not a thing in Glasgow Rangers anymore.
Aye. So, I mean, it was at the time Murray Park. I mean, I heard Craig Moore the other day. There's no question Auchenhowie's still the best training centre in Scotland. No question of that. But it does need upgraded at times. You need to go over the times. These guys have come in, had a wee look around. They've got big plans for it. And I'm all for that. And I get that we've got this kind of nervousness about things, because sometimes the Rangers, you get that sight hit and then stuff falls through or whatever. And as Albert said as well, David Murray years ago said they wouldn't sell the club to anybody unless they could take the club on further. and they gave it to the so-called billionaire from Motherwell. Now, we're not talking about billionaires from Motherwell here. We're talking about proper guys that know how to run football. Bear's right. You don't. Might be a 13 to 15 million pound transfer budget, but whatever you sell, you can maybe invest back in the club. Obviously, you'll get the financial advisors for the East End. You'll need to run the papers through them, of course, won't we?
Oh, we need to do that. That goes without saying, mate.
And it's strange, Anna. They never look at their own papers, eh? Very, very strange.
No, they don't want to mention court cases either, but there you go.
Better believe it.
Right, can we talk about this banner, by the way? I want to say something about this banner. I know we'll get to watch what we're saying and we can't say certain things that we might want to say, but I need to talk about this banner.
Fire away.
I don't agree with what that UEFA's done. I don't agree with Rangers have done. I don't particularly agree with the banner. I maybe agree with the sentiments of the banner. But one thing it was not racist and it wasn't discriminatory. I think that's a load of nonsense. I think what happened with that banner is just UEFA's it's payback for what we've done with the Queen. We defied them by telling us not to do any tribute to the Queen, and this is just payback for them. It's vengeance, mate. It's a bit of revenge.
It's incredible. That lot of it, tenner fines, and how many fines have they had over the years? And it's been a wee $5,000 here, and a wee slap my arse.
Nah, well, put it this way. See, the boys are talking about live bans. I don't agree with the live bans and Rangers fans. That's out of order. I want to know who came to that decision. I want names of this who came up with that statement that Rangers released. That's ridiculous, mate. That is completely ridiculous what they're doing. It's out of order. If they boys that are holding that banner were on a prayer mat, then there would be nothing said about this. Absolutely nothing said about it at all. But the fact that it's just fact because it's Rangers fans. Probably Protestant Rangers fans as well. It's a big hullabaloo all of a sudden. It's a big, let's do something. Let's life ban. What are they talking about life ban? What's a lot of nonsense, mate? What are they on about life bans for a banner that means absolutely nothing to anybody? It's crazy. It's just UEFA being UEFA, isn't it? And by the way, another thing that annoys me with that UEFA, they keep telling us that when they play a European tie at any part, they take over the stadium. So how come we're getting fined for blocked stairways when they've took over the stadium? They're responsible for the stadium. So why are we getting fines? They should be fining themselves because they say they've got control of that stadium and they get control of the seats. If they want to move your seat, they move your seat. All of a sudden, there's blocked passageways with a lot of nonsense. People throwing things, and it's no Rangers' fault. It's an individual's fault for throwing things. No Rangers.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with being a Rangers man and a Protestant and having your beliefs, and that is as simple as that. Nobody can tell me any different. I don't care what all these medias, whatever. You're not being racist. You're not, but wait a wee minute here. This is our place. Weekend, and they're hanging some of the young boys out to dry here. Now, I've said this for young boys. I know the Union Bears, but they're young lads. But there's also other guys in the stadium. So they just want to ban the. It's been the same for years. That in there, the Palestine flags. They're not to be able to do anything.
If they no learn anything for years, that mob across the city, we've all seen the banners and things that they've done across the city. But they always have internal inquiries. We remember. To my mind, there's up to about 20, 23, 25 internal over the years. Aye, right. So they've never actually come out with to tell you what these internal. How is Rangers not coming out with internal inquiry? Why are we coming out with statements, stupid statements, and shouting crazy things about life bans and crap like that? You're saying, get a grip of yourselves. If you do a straw poll, I don't know if you want to do one, but if you do a straw poll and say, anybody think that these boys should have life bans? I would say the majority of fans, Rangers fans, would say no. I don't know what they're doing this for. It's crazy. It's stupid and crazy.
I think genuinely, it's because these boys are coming in and you don't want to put them off. And I understand, right? I'm as they come, believe me. I could say a right few things here, but I think it's down to these American boys are coming in and you're not wanting to put them off with kind of. Because you know what that looks like? Right away, that banner went up straight away. You just want to get involved with a club like this and all that. You know what I mean?
And the
It's
banner,
just-
the banner wasn't racist or discriminatory. It's
course
just
it wasn't.
it's a nothing banner. You don't have to agree with it. You don't have to disagree with it. It's a nothing banner. It's
You cannot get arrested for that.
it's
No
an
question. You can't get
overreaction
arrested for that.
by UEFA. UEFA are trying a bit of vengeance because we put the truffle up about the Queen when she died. That's what that's about. That's all that's about, mate.
And how ridiculous is that? We played Napoli and we done that. And you're getting done that for a woman that served her country for years upon years upon years, never lost a day or work, nothing. And we're getting dug up for that.
It's and they're kidding themselves on. They've waited for years to do it, mate. They've been waiting for years. The pyrotechnics, I'm telling you one thing, see with pyrotechnics, see the SFA, SPFL and UEFA were selling the pyrotechnics. They wouldn't have any problem, would they? It's because they're not getting a cut out the selling of the pyrotechnics. That's why they don't like pyrotechnics.
I've got to laugh at that one. I know. I mean, they're even, for instance, and we're not even going down that road of the political side, but they're going on the other day about Cherny going mad at spraying a bottle. Now, Rangers players were missed with bottles, never missiles right by their head. A bottle went right by Raskin. That never gets brought.
We're not to talk about that, but there's an unwritten rule that in all the clubs they all do. We want to see these bottles and things getting thrown, coins and all sorts. Every team does it, mate. But it's an unwritten rule. No team will complain about each other. Aye, but no team will complain about each other, and the press will know that. They'll know mention it unless the supporters go to the polls. Once the supporters go to the polls, that's when it all starts getting mentioned. And let's be honest about them. As they're expert financial advisors, they're also experts in the law as well. They're great and moan about everything that happens to them, everything, regardless. It's just great and moan. So it's just nonsense, mate. Absolute nonsense. But I'm not having this life ban for Rangers supporters, mate. I'm not having that. I'm not wearing that. I don't care who's in charge of the club. I want to know who came out with that statement, and I want to know who came up with that idea. If that was Stuart that came up with that idea, you should fall on your own sword, mate. You're anti-Rangers. That's what you are. No. Because I'm not wearing this Bandy's fans. Not in the slightest.
That's what I was going to say, Albert. Where's Patrick Stewart in all this? Because end of the day, he's meant to be the guy that's standing up for us, and when Tierney's getting attacked, saying the police are going to be getting involved and all the rest of it, well, where's Patrick Stewart coming out for Rangers and going like that? Aye, we've had a word with Tierney, but where's the ones getting condemned for throwing, like Davey says, about the bottles getting chucked at our players as we're running down to celebrate a goal and all the rest of it? It was all silence for Rangers again, and that's what does my head in it all, that aye, okay, they've came out and said what they've done with this UEFA thing and all the rest of it. That's the line drawn in the sand. If our fans continue to do things that are going to hurt the stadium closures and pyrotechnics and all the rest of it, then aye, they should be hammered, because the line has been drawn now. That we know that we can't get away with anything. Until we start getting on a level playing field where we're winning things and stuff like that, and we get people in the right places, like say in UEFA and all the rest of it, because they've got folk in UEFA and all, and this is how it's all kind of getting stirred up. So we need to start winning. We need to have a solid base, and like it says, we need these new owners to understand what we're up against. But
JV, I want the club to ask you if it explain how you get racism and discrimination out of that banner. I want to know how they work that out. Anyway, I want to hear the logic. This is the problem with that UEFA. They're answerable to nobody, mate. It's their tournament. It's their ball. We'll do what we want. Well, no, you'll know. That's free speech. I heard that guy Houston saying it as well. That's free speech you're messing about with here now, mate. You're not going away with that. You're only a football organisation, mate. There's nothing to. You're not a government. You're no some sort of moral standard. Them moral standard. There is no moral standard in UEFA or FIFA. So I'm not wearing this, mate. If they boys want to put that banner up, they're allowed to put the banner up, because it's no hurting anybody, mate. It's hurting absolutely nobody, and it's no picking on anybody either. It's just an ideology they're talking about. And if truth be told, if you asked most of the people in the country if they support that, they'd say no, we don't support it. So no, I'm not wearing it, mate. It's totally wrong. The statement's crass and it's horrible, and it shouldn't be put out. And this, we are going to give lifetime bans to people. Well, I'm telling you, I'm supporting the boys that they're going to try and ban. And the rest, I would expect majority of Rangers fans to be like that as well, saying, no, we're not wearing it. Because if we all sit back and let this happen, well, they'll come for the rest of us. If you walk in there with a wrong colour of jacket on, or if you smile at the wrong time, or you get out, you get a lifetime ban. It's getting that ridiculous, mate. You know, like smoke, drink, sing, swear.
The only reason they're doing it is because they can. But we, as a club, we've been in the, I don't know where we've been in the doldrums for maybe a couple of seasons there. But we need, I've said this for years, we need somebody at the head of our club at CEO level who's a bulldog, and they'll go straight into everybody. And that's what they, on the other side of the city, got. Right?
Hey, we've got one, but Smudge, we've got one. The trouble is he's biting us.
Aye, but no, I think we got Robertson in, and I know Robertson's a kindly guy. I'll say this in all honesty, and probably look after himself a bit. But no, that we needed at that time, we needed a bulldog, and go in and push them all around, take nothing from them, no rubbish. We're Rangers. We demand that we be listened to at the same level as everybody else, and we were pushed all over the place, non-stop for 2 years, 3 years. And that's wrong, and we allowed it to happen, and it's difficult to get it back. I thought that when Robertson from Motherwell, when he finished up, we would get a really, really good, really strong chief executive officer, and he'd be very, very much the same as, if not better than that one that they've got across the city. And he's listened to, no matter where he goes in the world, he's listened to and he's respected. We don't have anybody that's even listened to. They don't even know who our CEO is. You follow what I mean? That guy's got a seat in Europe, in the European areas. He sits in all the committees, or he sits in some committees, and they're representing Scotland in Europe. We've got nobody that is anywhere in a committee. We need to get.
Can I say something here just quickly, just before I go? Even the day, and I know it wasn't down to the the banners and whatever, but Barry was asked a question today about Tierney, and a lot of managers would have just folded and say, you should have been, a bit more, calm there. He says, no, I loved it. He enjoyed, and if my players don't enjoy celebrating a goal, then they'll not be playing with me. So, and in a kind of roundabout way, we've got a guy in there that knows exactly what's going on. Maybe we know what's going on in that hellhole. The big daft, the nets and that up so Rangers fans don't throw in. The only things that were getting thrown was they fucking... Oh, sorry for swearing there. Sorry. But
sorry, you're near the watershed anyway, mate.
that lot, honestly, I could write a book about it. But do you know what? They're going to get their comeuppance very, very shortly here. Lads, I'm away. I love you to bits.
By the way, what's your projections for the game at the weekend? Aye, mate. Barry Ferguson never even got a chance to talk about that game in that presser.
Well, there's one there. There kind of questions there. 5:30 kick-off. I'm expecting Rangers to go up there and leather them. Get the 3 points, and I expect Hearts to take a wee point off of sell it and all. I'm saying sell it there, but I expect Hearts to take a point off of them at the Piggery. I expect us to bluter Dundee because they've got another ranging that's their manager.
So you're going for 5-0 then?
Go for it.
Okay, mate. Brilliant, David.
These lads, honestly.
No, mate, great to have you on the night, and like I says, thanks for contributing. Like I says, you've been on for nearly an hour and a half ways tonight, so again, just it fills the night, mate, and it keeps us with the points ticking around the two boys, so much appreciated.
I love you all to bits.
Oh, well done, David Taylor. Well done.
Love you, Bridgeman.
Cheers, bud.
Take care, mate.
Right, lads. Love you.
Catch you soon. Oh, Bear, it's that time of the night, mate, so final thoughts for yourself, bud.
Hold on, I'm putting my night dress on.
Aye,
it was good.
Is it that time of night?
It's definitely that time of night for me, mate. Way by my bedtime. But hey, it was a good show, mate. Good show. Enjoyed it tonight. Good chat. And good test for Saturday night, mate. We need to beat Dundee to prove that we can keep the results going even after a big game, because that's one of the failings this season. So important game. We need to get the victory one way or another. Get the victory. But enjoyed it. See you yourself, Fox Terry, and Bridgeman there.
Brilliant, mate. Bridgeman, over to you, mate. Final thoughts.
Oh, what can I say? GB, it's a marvellous night. Wonderful discussions. Thoroughly enjoyed it. You know, what can you say? Well done to yourself and the techie boys in the background. You've set it up on a tremendous night too. And can I just say, listen, biggest game of our season's coming up on Saturday. Biggest game of our season, make no mistake about it. We've had quite a lot of big games recently, and we've done no too bad. Biggest game of the season coming up, and this is one of the proof of the pudding ones. Away from home at a place that they've always done well against us. They're up there, always. Well, I think so anyway. But we need to be well aware, and we need to go up there and win. Just as everybody said, we need to win. So everybody, please, wherever you are, to all the Rangers fans listening in, all over the world, everybody keep it going for the Rangers, because the Rangers need us, and they're going to need us this weekend. Keep it going.
Brilliant, Bridge. Just a big thank you again to David for phoning in, like I says, contributing to the show. Much appreciated, mate. And big thanks to yourself, Albert and Bridgeman, for the content tonight. And like I says, brilliant points of view for the two of yous. Plenty of passion in amongst that as well. Big thanks to Fox and Old School Blue in the background doing the technicals. This has been Rangers Radio. We'll be back tomorrow night talking about all things Glasgow Rangers. Good night.